In a long-promised speech, Mr. Obama addressed the Islamic world in Cairo, Egypt, and he repeated his call for a Palestinian state.
Chris Mitchell brings us this look at how the Israelis are viewing this speech and what they think of the president.
The speech was one of the most anticipated in recent Middle East memory. Many saw Obama's speech to the Muslim world as a bellwether for the U.S. Middle East policy for the next 4 years. The Israeli government reacted with a brief official statement. It read in part, "We share President Obama's hope that the American effort heralds the beginning of a new era that will bring about an end to the conflict and lead to Arab recognition of Israel as the homeland of the Jewish people, living in peace and security in the Middle East." For some, Obama's speech struck chords of hope.
It was absolutely fantastic. It was full of hope, and we really need someone like Obama to make peace.
Others were inspired.
I'm just completely struck by his courage and his vision. I find it totally inspiring.
But many Israelis felt Obama's speech was one more sign Israel is losing its strongest ally in the world, and one day soon may have to go it alone.
Personally, I'm really concerned about what's going on for the next 4 years. And basically, I think he's going to leave us alone, and we are on our own.
A lot of things that he's been saying could be potentially dangerous for Israel. He's kind of been pitting them up against a wall.
In his speech, Obama called once again for a stop to settlements. The additional demand to stop natural growth troubles those who support Jewish communities in the West Bank.
They think it's a bogus term, natural expansion of the settlements. But like I said, if you happen to live there and you have children, or you get married and you want to come back and live close to your family, how are you going to do it?
But Obama's portrayal of Islam throughout history in his speech concerns some academics. Obama stated, throughout history, Islam has demonstrated through words and deeds the possibilities of religious tolerance and racial equality. But Islamic historian and scholar Moshe Sharon says this misrepresents historic Islam.
When we speak about the equality that Islam has within it, as if all people are equal, it is not true. Islam never regarded all people as equal, because the Muslims are always on the top, and the non-Muslims are dhimmis. Jews and Christians, according to Islamic law, can never be on the same level like the Muslims. So where is the equality? The president is very eloquent. The president is an excellent speaker. He's a charismatic person, and everybody would believe that whatever he says is true, and it's not true. Historically, it's not true, not only because I am saying it, but because the Muslims think it's not true. It's not true that there is equality between them and the others.
President Obama plans to set a different course than President Bush did to the Muslim world. This new course will have a profound impact on Israel, the Middle East, and the U.S. Chris Mitchell, CBN News, Jerusalem.
And joining us to get some insight on all of this is our chief international correspondent, Gary Lane. You've been in the area. Hey, what do you make of this? I mean, what are the ramifications of this speech for the U.S. and for Israel?
Well, you can't judge just based on one speech. Yeah. And the Israelis have been looking at what Obama has been doing and what he's been saying for a long time. It goes back to last summer when he visited there as a candidate. Mm-hmm. They're very worried, George, because they think he's distancing himself and the U.S. from the Israeli position. And he has said that he will not dictate solutions. But what they see here is he is dictating to Israel in regard to settlements and in the peace agreement. They want to keep these settlements. They want to expand their families. They have no place to go. So it's very important to them. It's an important issue. He's putting a lot of pressure on them. They see him distancing the U.S. policy, unlike other U.S. presidents, from Israel.
Well, what Mr. Obama said yesterday very clearly was that he needs to see human rights, religious freedom experienced across the entire Muslim world. Yet if you walk out of that venue and you criticize President Hosni Mubarak, the president of Egypt, you could potentially get into big trouble.
Well, it isn't just that. I mean, not just in Egypt, but you look at Iran. Just 2 weeks ago, there were 5 Christians worshiping in a house church. Secret police busted in, and now they're in jail. In Saudi Arabia, you cannot build a church there. The president talked about all the mosques in America. But in Egypt, did you know a child in Egypt cannot become president of Egypt, unlike Obama in the U.S.? a Christian child cannot become president of Egypt. But George, you know, I was just there not too long ago. Last year, I paid a visit to Egypt, and here's my report from Cairo. Christianity has existed in Egypt 6 centuries longer than Islam, yet Christians are only about 12% of the total population. Muslims are about 87%. The country's constitution gives preference to the Muslim majority, and Christians are often treated as second-class citizens. Some Christian female teens have been abducted and forced to convert to Islam. Others have been lured or enticed into renouncing their Christian faith by promises of wealth and a more prosperous life as Muslims. Such was the case for the daughter of peasant farmer Saber Sabeh Gadala. As the late autumn sun set over the fields of El Minya, Egypt, peasant farmer Saber Sabeh Gadala placed his last few handfuls of hay onto a donkey cart and walked slowly back to his house. The teenage son of his Muslim neighbor asked to purchase some hay. A fatigued Saber instructed his 16-year-old daughter Suzanne to go and fetch the hay from the backyard. She never returned. Saber explains how an official responded when he went to the police station to file a missing person report.
He slapped my face and he yelled, "What do you want us to do? Put a guard at your house 24 hours per day?"
Saber believes Suzanne was abducted, forcibly converted to Islam, and married. Though police may know Suzanne's location, they've refused to reveal her whereabouts to her parents.
She'd never do anything like this willingly. She is very kind, innocent, and respectful of her parents. If she did this willingly, why will they not let me ask her in person?
Saber says his family has been torn apart. All he wants is for the truth to be revealed. This former Muslim, we'll call her Rachel, says she came to Christ after she fell in love and married a Christian man. We've hidden her identity to protect her from attack. Her family doesn't know she married a Christian or that she has left the Islamic faith. She's now in hiding because she says family members will murder her if they find out.
It is written in the Quran that they must kill me and take my child. They would do it.
God is using his people to help persecuted believers like Rachel and to bring hope and opportunity to others. These American Christians, led by a missionary from Kansas, teamed up with the Egyptian evangelicals. They're partnering to reach suffering and needy Christians in villages throughout Upper Egypt. Children are given gift bags with paper, pens, treats, and masks. Rice and chickens are distributed to widows who have little money for purchasing food. Other poor Christians are given seed money to start micro businesses. This man had difficulty finding a job because he cannot walk. He turned a grant of 1,000 Egyptian pounds into 1,500 in 7 months. He used the money to purchase 3 sheep. He fattened them up and sold them for a profit. He plans to buy 4 or 5 more to generate additional funds to support his family.
One day they can turn these goats or sheep to something big to give them monthly income.
This classroom was empty as students enjoyed their summer vacation at home. When they returned in the fall, each child was given school supplies provided by caring American Christians. Few parents can afford to purchase a pencil for their children's writing assignments. Bassem Sabri says God has sent Christians from the U.S. to help change lives.
They feel the love of God through the American people and through the Egyptian people who can help them. They see the actual love of God, not love by words, but love by acts.
Rachel and other Egyptian Christians say they expect many trials in the days ahead. Their faith is strengthened through sorrow and tears. But because of the help and prayers of Christians half a world away, they are encouraged. They're reminded that God is with them in the midst of their troubles.
The Lord tells us He cares for the sparrows. Just think how much more He cares for us.
Near El Minya, Egypt, Gary Lane, CBN News.